Checking my analytics. Stream health. Okay, we're excellent. So I think we're live. Let me check one thing.
Shout out to the chat.
Let's shout out to chat. There's nobody in the chat, but we just get started. This is Professor Black Ops, Cybersecurity for the People. This is session one, my first interview. We have Big Cam, security analyst in the house. Cam, can you introduce yourself? Maddox is in the box. Cam, introduce yourself to our one viewer right now.
What's up, chat? What's up, Professor Black Ops, man? Thanks for having me on. Yeah, my name's Cameron. I am a senior information security analyst, and basically, I'm pretty new to security, but been studying for a couple years, and now kind of getting my feet wet and seeing how some of the intricacies play out in the game of security. So, just excited to learn and share my new experience with y'all.
That's cool. I want to bring you on because I knew you were new to the cybersecurity game. So I want to let people know how to get in the game because I know you kind of struggled to get into the game. So
big time, yeah.
Which was surprising
speak
me
to that,
with
too.
your credentials. But go ahead and elaborate. With your credentials, I was kind of surprised you were struggling. But
Yeah, so I have a master's business administration with cybersecurity with that as well, and it really took quite a few years to kind of get the shot I wanted for I think a couple of different reasons. First being people they really like people with experience because since we're like such a senior team in any organization, security is just pretty much the last say on all technical issues. If we say it doesn't fly, there's things that we can get taken down, right? So I think part of the responsibility factor there, and also too, is security in a lot of places is so new. Like a lot of organizations, they're just not as mature, and so as they're trying to ramp up their security teams, a lot of places when they first start looking out, they want people with experience. So, as the teams get more mature, I think and they grow, there's more opportunity for like new people like me to come in.
Maddox, let me know if it's still echoing. Yeah, that was true. We are definitely an old security team. We I mean you've seen it. I mean our security teams changed a little bit over the last little bit, but we're an old, experienced security team. Obviously, you're the youngest person
Yep.
on our team by far.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, and that's kind of like it was a huge thing, to be able to get that opportunity. And I would say to anyone else that's new in the game and trying to get into security, definitely build those relationships because that was one of the things I was able to leverage was I was knowing these guys on security team, and we worked together on other projects when I was in a different team, and then so that's definitely a big thing. Um, Using those relationships to their fullest extent and to put yourself in a better position.
that's true. He said you echoing a little bit, Cam, but I think
Oh,
everything.
I'm echoing.
Yeah, that's what Maddox said. But
I don't hear an echo.
yeah, just keep going. We'll figure it out. Like I said, this is my first
Weird.
interview. Work with me, Maddox. We're trying. I want to send a shout out to the four guys that kind of got me into this and doing this. Shout out to Keep It Techie, Alpha Cybersecurity, Tech G, and of course, Dewan Lightfoot is probably the godfather in the black sector of YouTube for interviewing people. So I'm kind of taking my motto out those guys. So I want to send a shout out to those guys. So once again, I think we went over this a little bit, but your educational background, what is your bachelor's in?
My bachelor's is actually general studies.
Okay.
So when I first started out, I was a history major. I wanted to go to law school, but then things changed, and I was thinking more computer. So I went, kind of had to push everything together. Ended up in computer science. So it was like a minor in computer science along with the general studies. That kind of got me in the door into IT, and then as I grew in IT, kind of figured out more that for me, I like SQL and I like data. So that kind of helped me down that path was connecting my computer science background, the programming background to to the data, and which is not really. Some people say SQL is a programming language, but it's really not, right?
Right, right,
So
right.
kind of best of both worlds.
So, like I said, how did you get into IT once you graduated? And with your general studies, how did you officially get into IT? Because I know you work for one of the big
Yep.
consulting companies, so bring that on in there.
Yeah, well, so when I first started, before that though, I went on to help desk at a really small company, just a small network as a service company, and I had to leverage that computer science certificate. Say, hey, I know these languages, and so they gave me a shot on help desk. So I was brand new to networking, didn't know anything about networking at all, had to learn on the fly, and that was really educational. And that's really where I learned that I wanted to get into databases because working with some of the vendors, people would come in on whatever database we were in charge, whatever network we were in charge of, and they would come in, they have to run some queries. I'd be like, oh, wow, that's cool, that's powerful, right? So it got me in the door there. So after that, I got a really big opportunity to um, uh, get into a training program for Deloitte. So that training program taught us a lot about data warehousing, and then from there, we uh, we moved up and worked for Deloitte, the team that I was working with in that project. And so worked for there for a couple of years, and obviously that skyrocketed my career. You know, you can't replace the Big Four experience.
Yeah,
So that was
yeah.
huge.
I keep thinking I'm gonna go work for a big four. I keep getting offers because we do a little bit with Booz Allen sometimes. So I think
Yep.
you know. Uh, so chime in on a little the big four. How y'all got clients? How you work with them? Kind of the pay. You don't have to name the pay, but
So Big Four. My experience with the Big Four is a churn and burn. I mean, they got the money, but they really don't even pay people as high as they're worth. So the big money is when you become a partner in a Big Four, and then everyone who else who makes money from working there are people that go, like me. They went for a couple of years, and they use the experience to leverage. Go get the increase your salary somewhere else. So that's what I was able to do. Um, but basically, they're the big dogs. They work with the government. They work with all the. They're the accountant's accountant, right?
right.
So that world was interesting because you know they didn't have all the answers, but they could just pay. They could just call someone and pay someone to know, or they could just send it to their India team. We're working all
Right.
day, 10-hour shift, and they said, okay, we're not done. Okay, we're just gonna send it to the India team. They pick it up right where we left off, and we come back in the next morning and we pick it back up from them. So it's a 24-hour operation on that level. And but there's a lot to learn, but it gets old real
Yeah.
fast.
Like I said, the experience is great. The money's okay, but the weird thing is, when I start working with those guys, they do have a few super smart people. But I thought once I got in, I'm like, these dudes are no smarter than me, man. I can handle these dudes.
Right,
But when they come in with
right.
the practice manager and the practice director and our methodologies are the best and blah blah blah, I was like, oh y'all dudes, this is the racket, man. This is the racket. That's what I thought
Yep.
about because I work with a lot of those guys in auditing and the rest of them. So, but yeah, Gray Fox.
They're super
That's
polished.
true. Gray Fox. Yeah, if you can definitely get an internship position, you should definitely get one. Intern positions are kind of hard to
Agreed.
file to get. Jump in and chime in on that, Cam. What you think of intern position?
100%. Because you're basically, I view it as somewhat of a scholarship. Even if you're not getting paid, that experience is so invaluable because it's just hard to get on the security team. I mean, you just have so much responsibility. They look to us like, I'm gonna let Professor Black Ops talk about this because he's been a lot longer. But I've seen in the room for the past about year and a half with Professor Black Ops, and there are so many situations where the people that get paid the big bucks are looking to
Right.
us to tell them what they can and can't do. And really, it's a big responsibility. So if you come in, you're saying the wrong thing. I mean, you might not have a very long career. So if you can get an internship and you can get the experience, start building up that knowledge and that lingo and everything, it's really good.
All right, I gotta. I'm gonna ask the questions in the box. I'm gonna ask them as they come up. Shout out to my man Kenny
Cool.
Conjo. He's definitely high on my list. He's definitely one of the top guys in all of YouTube and especially in the black sector. Great Fox want to know how did you pick cybersecurity over data scientists? I think cybersecurity is the ish, but I'm gonna let Big Cam chime in on why he picked data science over cybersecurity.
Yeah. So cybersecurity over data science, probably because um, I didn't think I was that smart.
You think that?
I mean, you can make a lot of good money, and you can get into. I mean, it really is just another set of languages like the K, right? The K, and doing statistics and doing some higher level math with the data. So, I mean, if you like math, I would get into that. But I like cybersecurity for the reason that is not as like you don't have to be as technical. It's really about understanding what's going on, everything in your boundary, and kind of having that 10,000 foot view. So we're kind of like quarterbacking a lot more as compared to with a data scientist. He's in the grass, on a microscopic level, right?
Yep.
So he's not really looking at the macro picture. And I like that side of it.
And that's an excellent point. And like I said, the Big Four kind of got me interviewed. I'm actually going to bring in our our project manager on our team. She's not very technical, but she's like the quarterback because when we do audits and we're doing big things, we send all the data to her. She's not technical, but she runs the project. So you could be in cybersecurity and be a project manager and not be as technical. As Kim would say, you need to be in the weeds. A lot of times when we do cybersecurity, I tell the DBA what to do. I tell Bob K of the Linux team what I need him to do. I need you to run these stigs. I need you to run these checks.
Shout out Bob K.
Yeah, shout out to Bob K. I'm gonna interview him, one of the top Linux guys in the Midwest, most definitely. So we quarterbacking guys. So then they give us those results back, saying, okay, these are the checks we passed. These are the vulnerabilities. These are our mitigating controls we use to pass a certain test. If that's HIPAA, FISMA, OSHA. So we do a lot of different things. All good, Kenny Conjo. Give me a thumbs up later, Kenny Conjo. Thanks for coming through, man.
Shout out to the chat.
Shout out to the chat. So, Gray Fox, that's kind of the difference. Like he said, a data scientist, like he said, are definitely in the weeds. You programming in R, SAS. I'm old. There's some new stuff. I used to do SAS 20 years ago. As cybersecurity, depending on what part of cybersecurity you're in, you could be super technical or like he says. We do it at 1,000 foot level because actually we do governmental security compliance. We actually report to a higher government regulation body. So we make sure we have policies, procedures, DR, incident response, checks, all that, reviewing stuff. So those are the various different things in there, Gray Fox. Let me know if that answered your question, Gray Fox. That was an excellent question. If someone wanted to get into IT cybersecurity, where should they start? I think your answer is this has been a debate in the sector. Should you have degrees, certs, or both?
Yeah, I think both. But I think the most important thing now which is weird, is the certs. Like, I mean, if you don't have a degree, they're gonna look at you like, a certain way.
No, I agree.
What I mean? But you could be like in a job where we had a colleague that he worked his way up from the mailroom. Real story. And if he would have gotten a CISSP, or whatever cert, he could have hopped up and become, the next biggest cybersecurity thing where we're at. So he didn't have it. So there's ways around the degree, but it's pretty much a both. But the certs are worth more, I'd say, because that's kind of showing the employer, where you've put the rubber on the road, for lack of a better term, right? So if you can talk the lingo around the CISSP or the CCSP or the CEH or some of those other certs, they look at you so different. They're like, wow, he really knows what he's talking about.
Oh, I agree with that. I just changed probably in the last 3 or 4 years, actually. I think Keep It Techie actually got me to finally switch over. Because I'm an old guy. I got degrees. And in the 80s, search really wasn't big. I'm old. So search wasn't really big. So as I finally, like Big Cam said, is search are respected, degrees are respected. So I always say search can get you in the game. But I think if you want to be promoted to management, you need a degree. Especially in the federal space, kind of where we operate. So like you said.
Yeah, there's...
Go ahead, Cam.
It's a bar. Yeah, it's a bar. You just got to meet that threshold, kind of thing. Most places, unfortunately.
Especially in the government. What is it? 4750, 3750. One of those things now. Whatever area you work in, you got to have an IT cert to actually keep you to make sure you qualify to do that. Shout out, I gave Keep It Techies in the building. Like I said, I'm following his lead. He was the first one interviewing me, so he got me interviewing people. So I got my junior security guy. I call him a senior guy because he's been in the game so long. He's just new to our team, so he's trying to tell people how to actually get in the game. So the last big question is, how do you keep your IT security skills current?
Well, first of all, shout out to Big Techie because I watched the interview, so I think I'd like to subscribe too. Yeah, but the skills are important because real for me, I mean, you can. It depends on the person. You can really spend some time on your own and improve your skills like easily. Like there's a lot of stuff online that's just free now. There's so much stuff out there. But for me, since I'm a little more lazy and I got other stuff going on, I got kids and I got real estate and I got stuff at work,
Yeah.
when if you're on the job and you're in a good team, you're gonna learn because like Professor Black Ops, like how much when I first came to the team, I had like the credential, but I didn't really know much. But now, like if you ask me to do something, I could probably quarterback it
No,
for
without a
you,
doubt.
right?
Yep. My job is to make you quarterback because I'm getting old, so I'm about to lead the game. So I'm giving you all this stuff. So two is, like you said, in our job too, we get to review every vendor. We review every software that come in. So since we get vendor stuff, we might get a new database. We have to research. We might need to. They might be in Amazon. They might be in Azure. They might be in Google. So we might understand 80% of it, but then we got to dig in the rest of the stuff to say, okay, what is this new database they're using? Our favorite term, is it encrypted at rest? Is it encrypted in transit? Is it encrypted in memory? Right? So those are some of the first things we look at. So as you do that, you tend to keep learning because everybody keeps using newer technology and new technology comes out.
And just to add on to that, there's really no substitute for what we work with the STIGs, the DISA STIGs. That's Department of Homeland Security, their cyber division, security technical implementation guide, and so that's where the actual security controls are. And so when we work with those vendors and we work with anyone else who's implementing them, that we're going through all those checks. And when the ones that are hard, the stuff that you need to learn that people don't know, we had to deal with that so often that we're just picking it up, right? So like the on the job is just it's second to none. Like I feel like I could study for 6 months on my own in the evenings on something, but if you're just doing it at work all day long, you go pick it up a couple weeks, you know. So that's my 2 cents on that.
No,
Experience the best.
no, but you, Great Fox got another question. What if you have certs and no experience or very little experience? You think you can get in there, figure it out, to try to get a job?
That's exactly my
That was exactly
situation.
your
Yeah,
situation.
that's exactly my situation. And like the first thing I said is relationships. Because I was able to get cool with the security team, and I was able to on the things that my tasks that were exposed to them that we worked with each other on. I was able to build that relationship and say, I know about security. I got these, blah blah blah. Build that trust, and then they're like, hey, we got an opening. Let's get you over on our team. And so that's a really good way if you're already in the organization. But if you're not in the organization, that's a little more difficult. But I mean, there's ways to network. If you go to events, if you go to, if you just try to connect with people online or maybe with professors or stuff like that, if you just keep at it, eventually you're going to find that one person that's going to put the hand down to let you in.
Yeah, because to be honest, I was working with him on a data warehouse team. He was doing some security checks for me, and I thought he was pretty good. So I was like, "Hey, let's bring him on the security team." Obviously, I didn't know he had a master's degree in the game. So then I told the security team, "That's the guy I want." So that's the guy I picked. So a lot of times when you're in your current business or your current profession, if you get, like you said, cool with people in the IT area and the security department, they'll help you get into that department. Right? Then people know you, right? So then
Big
that's
time.
that's that's a way to skip the interview. Not skip the interview, but shortcut the interview because you're already in there. So let's see.
Yeah.
And for a few people don't know is I actually am a professor. I teach introduction to computer security and forensics and advanced forensics. I teach at a local community college, so I actually am a adjunct professor for the chat and the audience in the future. So Let's see what else I got left for you. What are your thoughts on cloud security? We've been doing
Oh,
we've been in the cloud lately. We've been in the cloud. What's your thoughts on the cloud?
it's sweet. It's great. Uh, Basically, they're able to bake in everything that we do into the like basically when you set up something on prem, there's a lot of things you got to do manually. But in the cloud, they have it set it so you can have everything you want on the spin up.
Honest.
Basically, it comes down to just verifying they set it up correctly, right? And also, like some of the stuff we're looking at is making sure in multi-tenant situations that other people that are in the tenant with us are also configured properly. Or if they're not configured properly, then we might be exposed, even if we are
That's
configured
true.
properly. So that's kind of the concern of the cloud. But as far as like general stuff, they're super
Oh yeah.
good, right? They have like talk about AWS, they have the VPCs, which is equates to the VLANs. You have your basically your micro segmentation. You have ways to lock everything down and just east-west traffic. Um, the encryption's top notch because they got all the money to be FIPS 140-2. They got all the encryption modules up to date. So it makes it really easy for compliance and just like just for everyone, all the regular people, all the regular industry, not public sector but private sector. That's you can't really ask for much more than what you're going to get in the cloud, and it'd be a lot cheaper too,
I'm gonna
probably.
put you on the spot. I got you back. What's the difference between the
What's
commercial
up?
and government cloud?
Well, the government cloud is going to be locked down more. They have less stuff exposed.
Right, right.
So the commercial cloud is also going to be locked down, and they're moving that towards the certification that the government's on. But just in the government space, they're going to have a lot more things locked down. You're not going to be able to access as many services. You're not going to be able to access as many things just because um,
No, that's true.
not all of them are certified. But also too is you don't want to have too much stuff
That's
going
true.
on.
And also on the government cloud, it's just government people. So everybody in the government cloud has somebody they report to. Either you report to the IRS, OSHA, FISMA, or somebody, DOJ. So
Sure.
then, so everybody in the government cloud has security, and everybody's in there is doing some type of security check. In the commercial, I could be next to Ops' barbecue shack with no security, right? So when I'm in the government cloud, everybody has security. Everybody has security
Yeah.
checks. Shout out to Maddox who uses to teach, man. Yeah, I'm thinking about retiring too. To be honest, Maddox, I'm getting a little old, man, but I enjoy it. And two is, I like helping people,
You're not
man. And
old.
to be honest, man, I like helping my young brothers. They be confused in class, man. I had to snatch them and get them in line, man. So that's one reason I keep teaching. That's kind of my give back, man. To be honest, so I don't know.
So this is my time. This is my time to tell the chat some stories. Okay, so working with Plus or Black Ops is a treat. I'll tell you right
Oh yeah.
now, this guy's the goat. This guy, he's taught me so much about um, the game and cybersecurity, also politics. Not like red blue, but politics in the office. It's really important when you're in security because we touch so many teams and there's so much going on. We kind of got to be sometimes the slick surface, or sometimes we got to be the rough surface. We got to be friction, and so there's it's a lot more than just an encryption module. It's a lot more than knowing about the VLANs. This brother's got a lot of experience in so many different places, and the stuff I've been able to learn from him has been invaluable to me in my life and my career. So, like, if anybody that's watching, like, please like, subscribe, not no cap, because this guy needs to be heard by more people, and he got a lot to offer. And this is all free. So like, subscribe, share everything. Let's get this links out to as many people as possible, and let's get PBO to
I
blow up.
appreciate that, man. The other thing is don't name any names or industries. What about some of the big companies we review and they have very little security? You seem surprised when we first
Oh
first went into
wow,
that. So don't make sure you don't name any names. We'll
yeah,
talk about that when
I
you
won't
name
name
big
any
companies
names.
and their security is almost zero.
I won't name names, but I'll name industries. I won't name names.
Don't
I'll
even
name
name the
industries. So
industry.
what I
Keep
mean by
going. Don't name the industry.
let me put it this way: there's industries that you think would be
Yeah,
secure that aren't.
yeah.
It's like the ones that are like dealing with security and not just computer security. Let's put
Right,
it that
right.
way. So like, there's people out there that you think that they're on top and they're not, and it's just amazing. Like, um, so it really it comes down to the integrity of the team,
Right.
of the security team at any organization. This is the truth: is that we are constantly critiqued and criticized, and people try to come after our team because we want to go to a higher standard. So like, there's a lot of these places are so political that like it's all about the balance of the triangle, right? The CIA triangle. They don't want to spend as much money to do the most secure solution, and so you kind of have to balance that. And so, for as someone who wants to do really tough security, you kind of have to like like put in a back seat and be like, whoa, business comes first, right? Those who have the goal to make the rules, and that's the truth. So
The weird.
juggling that is always the trouble, and that's why I think.
No, you
Sorry to
good. You
cut you
good.
off, but that's why I think a lot of those big companies don't always have it together because it's
That's why
political,
they get
probably
hacked.
at
That's why
some
they get
level.
hacked. I mean, we talk to some reviews we do. We're looking at billion-dollar companies, billion-dollar industries, companies who are huge, who are actually in the top 100, and they have almost zero cybersecurity, no encryption on the back end, no encryption at rest, and you're like, dude, what are y'all doing, man? Right? So it just seems. Then they actually push back. That's the weird thing. Then they push back against you when you ask for more comprehensive security. So even that still surprises me to this day. So
Yeah, that's a big. I mean, and just like with the couple hacks that have happened lately, all the stuff that's going on. Excuse me, with exchange, and then before that, the solar winds and
yeah,
everything. It's just
it's kind of unbelievable. Well, I've been doing this so long, so I ain't gonna say it's just unbelievable, but it is just kind of like crazy. So what are your
yeah.
cybersecurity goals for 2020 for 2021?
Well, I'm working on my CISSP,
I think me too.
hoping to get
I
it
think me
done.
too. I'm right there with you.
I hope I can get it, but other than that, just I'm in a great place personally because of yours truly, and also the people on the team. There's just I'm just learning so much. So basically, if I just soak up what I'm doing, that's one of my
Yeah, like I
goals.
said, I think I got everybody lined up, but the CISO to come on. So I'm gonna have Big
Cool.
Bond to come on, the Godfather of security for the Midwest, the Big Grumpy. I get him on.
I can't wait
But
for that one.
he's
I'm gonna be
yeah,
tuned
he's
in.
probably one of the best architects I think in the Midwest from my point of view. I've been dealing with a lot of people, and you've seen him in action. Encryption King on the fly, Open SSL, PGP, GGP, all that stuff, key rings, all on the fly. So I'm definitely gonna get him in the house.
You don't want to end up on the wrong end of the 007. It's not something you want happening
Yeah,
to you. This guy is he's just one of those guys, man. You'll
but
see.
top notch
He's great.
security. Of course, I'm gonna get Mr. Linux in the house, Bob K. We're gonna talk about STIGs,
Yep.
encryption, IP tables,
Jesse Lennox.
yeah, Charutin. So we gonna I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna get in love with Bob. So I got Bob on deck. Then I got the Oracle DBAs are gonna be in the house. I think I got the SQL Server DBAs lined up. I got some guys from DoD. I got the ex CIO.
Riaz.
Yeah, I'll probably get. I don't
Riaz
know,
coming up.
man. I don't know. I might get Riaz. So I got some. So in the future, I think we're gonna have some different type of security guys from different industries. I want to do some young guys. Then I want to do some super technical guys. Then I actually got a couple people that own consulting firms, small consulting companies. Kind of figure where they're at. And I got a
Killing
couple
it.
presidents to coming in to talk about where is cybersecurity at on their list of priorities. Is it zero?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do they hire people? How do they build teams? How do I actually budget for it? Where is it at? So just different things like that. So ultimately,
Yeah. That sounds like a great
yeah. So
lineup.
you know a few of those people. Like I said, I got a bunch of people. But you know where Bob K is from. So I'm bringing all those guys over. To
Yeah, that'd be a
So what
good
do you want to
cast.
be when you grow up in cybersecurity? What's your thing? What do you want to be?
Well, I'm trying to be a
Go for the
CISO,
top,
so
man.
just for yeah, just let all people know I'm about to be a CISO
CISO's
one
gonna
day.
sleep well.
I'm young.
CISO's gonna sleep well some nights, man.
That's true.
Paycheck's fat though. Paycheck's fat.
Paychecks fire, but you have to write some long emails, some really formal long emails,
You
some policies, procedures,
you got a couple people you
protocols.
can follow that. You know, Mr. Long Email we work with.
I have some good examples I'm thinking
So that's
about.
good,
Yeah.
like you talked about too. And that's one thing, and he mentioned a little bit. I guess I drill out too. Sometimes for cybersecurity, depending on if it comes top down, you have to do it. Sometimes we have to push from the bottom up and be nice, right? Sometimes you go to developers and you say, "I need you to do this," right? Sometimes I might not have management backing, so I gotta kind of talk him into it or convince him to do it. Right. So that's
Yeah.
kind of the weird part about it is since we're a cybersecurity team now, like I said, we quarterbacking, we don't do any work. We send checks to the business developers. We actually have a private cloud agency we work with, right? So we have to ask them to do stuff, and sometimes they push back, which I think is weird. So we got to go back and forth with our private cloud state agency. Talk about a little bit about that, Cam. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's interesting being in government compared to private industry because, like I mentioned before, it's like if you're in charge in a private company, you can pretty much say what happens from A to Z. But in government, there's some portions of your organization are not yours, and so kind of the working together and making those things happen. Like one of the things that we're talking about lately is DR, right? So we had some things, some vacancies, some things happen, some organizational change that was delaying some disaster recovery tests for us. So they're kind of trying to work that out and get those to happen. So that's a little different, but I think um, it's a great place for security though, because we're able to, like I said, we're kind of a hated team, and this is a lot of this predated me, but I came in and was able to still feel some of the heat that was coming through at our team, like from other
Wow.
states and other industries around us, because we're putting them to a really high standard. They don't like it, honestly, and some other people who think they can push their weight around, and they do. So I mean that's something that you kind of got to deal with the public
Yeah.
sector, but
Yeah.
I think it's
Thing is,
fun.
I've been in the public, and like I said, I work for government. I worked for DoD for 11 years. Now I'm in the government sector, so they all kind of. But before I came in there, I worked in the private sector for my first 30 years of my career, and probably the last 20, I've been in the government sector. Keep it tech, that government money is kind of good when you're a contractor. So I'm a contractor, and Tiny's a full-time employee, so it runs a little different. So I like that consultant work, that consultant
Yep.
money. I've just been blessed to kind of roll with that. So I'm trying to actually figure out my next move. So we're kind of winding it down. Like I said, this is my first interview. I'm trying to follow the lead of Keep It Techie, Tech G, of course, the Godfather, Dewan. So I'm just trying to see if I can make this work. Is there any more questions in the chat? Like I said, I was trying to keep it short today. TGIF for everybody. Happy Friday. I think Greg Fox had a couple extra, some good questions I picked up on. I know if Maddox or anybody else had anything in the box, so
Any real estate
we ain't
questions?
doing real estate on here. That's gonna be my next channel, real estate.
Ah.
So me and Tiny, we do a little real estate. Just keep it that short, Tiny. Don't comment on it, Tiny. So, so once again, I'm see if there's any more questions in the box. I want to thank everybody for joining. Currently, we have 3 current views, and actually, that's kind of what I wanted. I'm getting started. I can shout out to Keep It Taking. It's a lot harder to do an interview than I expected. You got to get the mic, figure out what's echoing.
Oh, you did
So
great,
it's
brother.
all
You did
good.
fine.
So if there's no questions from the box, this is my first one. I want to thank Big Cam for coming on. I'm sure we'll be on because we're gonna do a round table. I
My
probably
pleasure.
get Keep It Techie and Kenny Conjo. Me and Big Cam, we probably get on a four square and kind of just chop it up. Cybersecurity. Keep It Techie is a
Cool.
Linux guru. He does SQL Server too, and Kenny Conjo is an expert at penetration testing. So we probably I'll get on a four score and
Okay.
chop it up. So once again,
That'd
Professor
be great.
Black Ops, Cybersecurity for the People. I'm in it. Thanks for joining, Big Cam, and I appreciate it. You were
Thanks for having me on,
first test.
PBO.
My first test one, it went pretty good. Talk to you later, man. I'll talk to you in a
Yes,
minute. We
sir.
probably got to do a little something today. Everybody have a great Friday.
Let me know.